Yo, so before we get into this video, as usual, none of like these tutorials are like step by step. I actually just took a audio form from one of my recent podcasts and kind of threw it over like an older hair video I had like stored in the lost files. So that's what this is. You're not gonna hear anything of like step by step at all, because I don't like doing that shit and I don't have time for that shit at all either. However, I do think this audio is super valuable. I've gotten a lot of great feedback from a lot of people, so I thought, hey, might as well go ahead and share it on YouTube. I don't know how many people actually listen to the podcast from YouTube, but if you do want to go ahead and check it out, obviously it's on Apple Music and Spotify as well too. Just go ahead and search up Deluxe Podcast. So let's go ahead and not bullshit anymore and get right in the damn video. Hey, what's going on? Daniel here from the New Era of Barbering. Welcome to this podcast. I know I said like last podcast that I actually recorded. I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna like record anything until I have something to say. Well, your boy got something to say. Now, I guess a warning. Title of the podcast I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty clickbait, right? Like, why know your worth culture is cringe/toxic. And that's like most of the industry too, right? Most barbers and just labor people in general. Really all you hear is know your worth. Honestly, I got tired of hearing that damn thing on like if I had a call with somebody who wanted to join and work with me inside the Elevated Mentorship Program inside New Era Barbering. And I'm just like, dude, this shit's gotta stop at some point in time. And that's not to say it's like bad, right? This isn't directed towards it, because I don't even know if there is anybody who's like, this is like their thing. I think it's just everybody's thing. If you kind of just look around and just listen, people are kind of crazy. People just get too like, they just look at this thing too closely. Like, know your worth, and that's literally all they'll say of a business strategy. So we're gonna get into like, exactly what it is, why is it said, why is it done, especially why is this cringe and really toxic. That's probably a very good point to go over. Basically the theory and just also some practical examples behind this thing of like why this is like super flawed, by the way. And like, this is not bad. Like, this is not meant to like, if you said it before, like, this is not to call you out, right? This is just like, look, the barber industry needs to be a little bit more realistic. Not irrational and not so damn motivational hypey shit, right? Somebody has to like at least like make sure that this shit isn't like too blown out of proportion, that the regurgitated shit doesn't get too out of control. So basically, what is this know your worth before we get into cringe and toxic things, right? I mean, if you've been cutting hair, I'm sure many people have also seen like literally anybody can say it. Literally anybody on a stage with a microphone or with a video camera, you'll hear somewhere along the lines that they're talking about some type of, I don't even want to call it a business strategy, because that's pretty, I wouldn't even put it as a strategy. I don't know what the hell it is. But when it comes around like, your business, whether it's charging or whether it's like client wise, they're gonna come up with this stupid saying and say it of like, know your worth. They're like, clients ain't paying you what you want, know your worth. Can't make rent this month, know your worth. Your girlfriend left you, know your worth, right? You're getting sued for fraud, know your worth. Like, that's literally anybody will say about like it's gotten that crazy, I will say, right? And that's not to say I've never said it before. I'm pretty sure you can go back on some earlier podcasts and I've actually had to like re-listen. I'm like, oh god, this is so bad. Like, trust me, I've been through this like process. This isn't something that I'm like some saint or like some person that just like is better than everybody else. I've gone through this process of like saying this, and then I'm like, hold up, what the fuck am I even saying? Like, why is this even like being said, or is this even like a rational thing to like pass around, right? So why is this said? Well, more than likely, like, I mean, honestly, like when I was saying, and I'll just speak from because that's the only thing I can really say. I can't speak on everybody else, but like when I was saying it a lot, know your worth, and whether it be on like YouTube videos or podcasts, or just like if I was at a show and somebody was like, oh, what should you do? I don't know if I've even said know your worth like that as like the main thing, but I've definitely said it. I'm not gonna like lie. Really for me, it was just like I didn't know what the hell I was doing, right? Like I'm like, shit, this person's asking me what to do. Know your worth. That's it. That sounds really good. It sounds like a good thing to say, and it sounds like the right thing to say, because that's the only thing I could say, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Now, of course, been able to learn a few things, and now I look back at that, I'm like, yeah, not good advice. So if you even go back on podcasts and you hear me say some questionable shit, I'll definitely contradict myself, especially now versus then. But this podcast has been going on for like 3 years, so there's gonna be some growth. I'm not always gonna have the same fucking views. That would be really weird, and kind of sad too, right? But I know for myself, like there was just nothing that was like. First of all, it's all I ever heard. Know your worth, experience, know your worth. It's all about the experience, all this bullshit, right? I would say it and it would get you motivated because it's like, oh yeah, I should know my worth. Oh, I think that's my problem. Yeah, that's my business problem right there. And it's not, right? And really, it was more done as that hustle more, that motivation culture in the industry. This is like really bad too, as like the barber industry. I don't think so much the hairstyles industry. I don't know that industry in terms of like the ins and outs as well as the barber industry. But you've been to shows, damn, everything just fucking like motivation. And I say that negatively as well too, because motivation is not gonna do shit. Honestly, you take I used to take 3 hours in the morning, get motivated, listen to the right videos on YouTube, listen to E.T. Thomas, listen to the right playlist. It has to hit certain, you have to listen to certain things for fucking ever just to do something. It's just do the damn thing. And that's just to get progress. If you actually knew what the fuck to do or knew exactly how to make a business go, you don't need all that shit just to get amped up and motivated, right? You just wake up and fucking do it. So this hustle more motivation culture in the industry also too is I think the reason why most barbers, I won't say most, but there's a big portion of the industry where they just think more haircuts, more money, all this other stuff, which again too, no saint, I thought that before too, and then I had to really think hardly and critically think, is this even actually logical to do as a human? Because my arm hurts, my back kind of hurts. I don't really do anything except wake up and cut hair. I have hair splinters all over the place. It's not the most fun thing, right? And really, thinking back on it, if I would even hear a video or a podcast, I would just, you get that cringe when you think about something you did when you're 5 years old and oh god, that's why would I do something like that? I get that same feeling, and I get that whenever anybody says that. And again too, it's not a bad thing. It's more of look, that's the understanding awareness of a business mind, and I'm just damn, I know that you just don't know exactly what you're doing. You're kind of passing on bad information, but all right. This, it just makes it more I guess more apparent that I should probably speak more on it instead of being so just so hyper focused with building a new era barbering company and with barbers inside the program as well too, helping them, but also, hey, look, let's all not be dumbasses in this industry like I was, right? And our heads up our ass or just in the dirt, and just actually maybe have some progressive conversations that aren't so fucking toxic, right? And hating. Again, too, this isn't to hate on anybody. It's just to shed some light, right? I know the last podcast I was super amped up, but I just had it was just one of those moments where you just hyped. I was really passionate about something. This one I'm just yo, this shit gotta stop at some point. And really again to the hustle more, the culture in the industry, hustle harder, stay in the barbershop longer, do more of this, more. It's not bad if you're a lazy ass. If you're lazy, yeah, you probably need to do that shit. But if you're not lazy and you kind of gotta have a really realization okay, is this really smart? Because honestly, it's not if you don't want to be in the labor business, as we are as barbers, right? We are a labor business for the rest of your damn life. I know I didn't want to be, right? That's why I retired after 5 years of cutting, and was able to build my business up, because it's just dude, some point in time, I just don't want to do the same damn thing every day. If you do want to do that, I think there are people who do, maybe. I don't know why. They might be lying to themselves, this is I guess I shouldn't charge more, I'm doing my duty as a community, whatever that is, dude. I don't care. That's you. But if you don't want to do that, this is definitely more for you, right? Because you don't have to be that way. of being a laborer for the rest of your life. And also too, you just don't gotta hustle fucking more just to get out of the damn thing, right? Absolutely not. You have to be doing the right things. You have to do more of the right things, less of the wrong things. And I think most of the industry does a lot of wrong things like this. So, you know, I guess like a good next point to go on is like, why is this cringe or toxic? And it doesn't really help anybody, right? Just keep somebody in the rat race, cutting more heads. And it's not really, like, if you think about it, it's not really advice. It's just kind of like a logical thing. Like, yeah, everybody, it's like something that should be known. Yeah, you should know your worth. And even that, like, I'm not even like, what the fuck does that even mean? I think people, when they actually say that, there's like a pause where you're like, what the fuck does that mean? Know your worth. Like, seriously. And, you know, I think people like who are telling people, like, I think it's actually pretty bad to let that some people in the industry tell others to like raise their prices. And not because it's like, oh, you shouldn't be telling them to raise their prices, you keep them down. No, it's just like, that's not very helpful, like long term. It's helpful short term for damn sure, right? Like, sure, that person makes more money in the short term, but long term wise, they have no fucking clue what they're doing still. And just telling them to know what they're worth, like, I'm sorry, but like, I talk to barbers all day about this shit, and they follow that advice, and like, they've really gone nowhere. And they're more stuck in a fucked up position if they keep doing that. And I'm actually very like, well, I shouldn't say. I know recently, maybe within like the last 2 years, maybe a year and a half or so, I've been very quiet, not only just on social media in general, but just in any content that I put out. I don't even say to like raise your prices, right? I'm actually I don't, like, if you've ever like really listened, I don't tell anybody to raise their prices. Or I'm not yelling like, raise your price, you should know your worth, raise your price. I really don't want to like spew that out, because again too, it's like, you always have to come back to like, what's the point? Well, the point is to like really, if somebody wants to, you know, eventually 5 years, like myself, like remove themselves from the business and take this thing up to the max threshold, just telling them that is not going to get them there. And like also too, like I said before, it's not really going to do anything for them. Like, okay, yeah, they raised it up $5-10, now what? They're going to be stuck again at some point in time where you're just going to say, know your worth again? Like, I'm sorry, that shit breaks, you know, at a certain point. I'd rather just go with a long-term business approach. And that is why I actually say, like, you know, fix your business, fix your personal shit first, and fix like the discipline things that are going on inside the business as much as possible ethically for people in the program. Of course, people have joined New Era Barbering and I'm working with them inside the program. Of course, I'm not going to be like going ahead and giving out everything for free. It's just unethical, right, as a business. But like, you know, I think this podcast, or just anything that I put out now, is just more around like, let's be less of a dumbass. And like, that's not saying to you, that's like, I almost take all this stuff as if I was talking to myself like, what, 5 years ago, because I was pretty much of a dumbass. And anybody, like I'll be honest, I was a dumbass. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. That's fine, right? But that's kind of like the whole idea of this. And really, again, too, all of this is like to promote long-term growth, long-term thinking. Know your worth does not go in any direction of that whatsoever. And again, too, that's for the New Era of Barbering. That is what I'm focused on more of. Now, I think another thing would be like, you know, great, we talked about this. What about some great theory examples of this damn thing, right? So I think just kind of talking about that, it makes it very clear. If it doesn't, these things will make it very clear, right? Like, imagine if like Amazon, like, I know Bezos just stepped down from being CEO, but okay, cool. Let's say, you know, fuck it, like at whatever point of Amazon, at whatever point, even when they were in their garage, right? And Bezos was in there, you know, for the quarter and yearly strategy meeting, you know, and everybody's asking him, the board is asking him, all right, Jeff, what the fuck we gonna do this quarter? Like, what's our goals? And Jeff goes up there. Know your worth. It's know our worth this year, guys. It's know our worth. Yo, like seriously, like and it's very laughable because like I did it myself, but just like when you think of it that standpoint, if you think Jeff Bezos or you know, if Steve Jobs when he was still around running Apple or anything, like if he just went in there and said, hey, let's know our worth this year, all right? Good job, y'all. Let's know our worth. Like it's pretty comical at that point in time to like see like how like how fucked the barber industry mindset is of like with most people, right? It's just like, yo, okay, come on now. We got it. Like, it's a good laugh. And then it's kind of like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, that's pretty stupid. I mean, just a simple saying, like, you know, the whole, I guess, if you really want to break it down, know your worth. It really just means like having awareness that you know, to not be self-limiting yourself, right? That's all it is. And like, if something's just to have awareness to not limit self as your core business strategy, I think that's super irrational for like a big company like Amazon, Apple. I'm sure Elon doesn't go into fucking SpaceX. Hey, we want to like, did you really, like, anybody's really seeing like videos of like, you know, what Elon has done with SpaceX of like being able to have spaceships literally land on Earth, right? Like, not just coming crashing down and they got to fucking figure the shit out of the remnants of it, like literally coming back down and landing perfectly. He didn't just say, hey, let's know our worth on this one, y'all. We'll get it done. Like, it's like, I'm just like if you imagine that would be pretty fucking hilarious. And it's just comical at that point in time. But that's the main thing barbers will say. And like, I think we just have like a little lighthearted moment. Yeah, it's pretty comical, pretty irrational, not gonna work, right? Now, some practical examples of this. Like I said before, New Era of Barbering, a company I'm running inside the barber industry to help barbers grow to $200 plus per haircut. And again, too, it's not just knowing their worth, right? Like, it would be pretty fucking stupid if somebody got into the program and all I said to them for 2 fucking years was, hey, know your worth, buddy. You'll be good. Like, I'm sorry, South Bay Chris, Joel, Tough, any of these people, like Sonny, I'm sorry, but that shit does not fly. I will be like, they'll probably tell you too. I am super anti. Like, I'm just like, yo, just stop listening to that shit. It's not gonna get you where you want to go. A great example of this is Tough too, right? And I don't know if you've listened. Pretty sure it was pretty sure I'm dropping this today. Actually, it should have been like the very previous podcast on here. It's also like the most recent video on the YouTube. Basically, Emmett Tough is a customer of the New Era Barbering Company. He has been working with me for, since June. He started like at $35. But on that interview, if you've listened or even watched it, super confident, right? Super confident individual and very sure of himself. And dude said like he's getting to 200 by the end of the year. That does not come from like me just repeating to him, hey, Tough, hey bud, you know your worth, man. You'll get it. Nah, like, dude will look at you sideways and be like, the fuck are you doing? I'm not getting this program just for you to tell me that bullshit, right? And really, there's no way in hell we're gonna move his business up to that level just because he knows that he is worth that, right? Just because he knows he's worth that doesn't mean that, like, cool, hey Tough, you should start charging. You should go from $80 to like 200 tomorrow. I'm sorry, but that doesn't work, right? I mean, like, the reason why he's confident behind it is because, you know, we are able to at least get his marketing super highly converting, right? And not just, again, I might make a podcast on this of why, like, views and all this shit, especially on Instagram, that I've talked about that I thought was like really like important, really doesn't mean shit. I'm sorry, but it's just not. I'll probably get into that as well too, but it really like more of just a high converting sales piece. You know, there, you know, also where his business is bringing in enough of the correct type of clients. I think a lot of barbers they don't bring the right type of clients. They just bring in a bunch of bullshit. But, you know, making sure we bring in the right type of clients for his business that we want in order to scale. And then also knowing like the clients that are coming, we know to probably solve that problem. And then ensuring that there are enough cash reserves, right? Because we want to squeeze as much efficiency and profit out of like what we've built up at this current price point to really reap the rewards, kind of build up the war chest, so to speak. Because whenever you have more cash reserves, you got bigger balls. And just to make sure we can properly make the jump to the next price point. Most barbers, they don't even think about that, half that shit. And that's not even like really scratching the surface. But I mean, like, honestly, like, it's just like, a lot of barbers will say, hey, raise your prices, know your worth. And like, And I see a lot of people, and this is not bad if you have raised prices, but this is just like, again, too, you have to think longer term than just like making money for the day or making money for the month to pay off these bills or pay this off, and just really think long term. Is that really going to get you to where you fucking want to go? Probably not. If you just want to think 30 seconds out, yeah, that probably will get you to where you want to go, because that is a short-term minded thinking, right? And really, I think, while most barbers do think that it's just not about knowing your worth, I'm just going to highly advise, please try to know your business and how to run it properly, right? Financially, marketing, product, how that affects the market, how the organism works as a business in general. Because knowing your worth is just like, hey, you can make more if you structure things properly. Seriously, that's it. That's literally it. I'm sorry. This has been, I don't know if that's like a letdown of like an ending or like a wrapping up at that point, but like seriously, like that is it. I just don't know if this shit's going in the right direction with the industry of like, because I just see this thing getting spewed out more and more and more, right? And it's just more and more of like, oh man, what the fuck's going on with this shit? I kind of want to talk. I might make another podcast right now too after this talk, because I really want to get on that topic of just social media in general, because I think that also feeds into it, right? Know your worth, build a platform, build a brand. Holy fuck, right? Because like, okay, and the biggest thing to spot like kind of bullshit too, like if it's very vague, and I know it's kind of hypocritical because I say on this podcast, or just recently as well too, even in the interviews, hey, analytics, tracking, that's pretty vague. Again too, I can't go into specifics because ethically, like for people inside the program, they would be like, yo, what the fuck you doing? Right? So I kind of have a reason that I need to be vague, but this shit is like, know your worth. I'm sorry, but that's pretty fucking vague, and there's no reason for that, right? Build a brand, that's pretty fucking vague. Seriously, what does that even mean? Like, I'll be on calls with people and I'll be like, they'll say something shit like that. I'm like, the fuck does that mean? Like, what are you building? Like, for what? I mean, just sit down and think about what you're doing, what you built out, because I think it's super important just to take some time away from like the craziness. I had to do that. Like I said, I didn't post anything for like a year. Even now, I don't even post. I don't even post shit unless I have to. Like seriously, like I'll be on there. I'm like, fuck, I have to post something for a specific reason, right? I'm like, shit, now I gotta do this damn thing again. So this one was a little bit more of like, I think I should say something about it. And I like podcasting. I like going on this platform. Because I don't have to really like YouTube. You saw how like lazy I am now, I guess you could say. So I just want to be about the content. I just want to be about the pure, what is the value inside of what is being said, instead of like the hype and like all of like adding all the editing and stuff in there. I don't want to do that as much anymore. Maybe somewhere down the road, but right now it's just more about, look, if that's what's going to get you to watch anything, you should probably look at like, why are you basing it? Why are you basing how good something is knowledge wise or just information wise off of like, is it addicting to watch, right? That should be a flaw right there. Like, you should always just base it off the information. How well is the information in general, not like how well is like this thing edited to like release dopamine in your brain so that you can stick on and watch longer and have them get another view, right? So it's kind of like the rant again too. It's towards anybody. I think everybody has said this at any level in the barber industry. I've said it myself. I keep on seeing and hearing it, and I think it's just always good to just kind of like, for myself too, about like the awareness I have and like learning new things, especially with working with barbers like Joel, charging $200. It was doing like $30K a month. Like, it's like you have a very different paradigm of like, most barbers think that 5K a month is like fucking winning, which is pretty bad. Right? Especially if you listen to my last podcast, like, that's pretty fucking bad. That's just thinking you're better than employees is pretty, it's not the mindset you would want to go into as a business owner. And that's fine, but there's always growth in there, and you always have to at least like, look, find new information, change your worldview, change your perception, change how the way you interact with the world. And typically that's how you're going to be able to like really grow things. So it's kind of heard this podcast, I might start going to planning with the social media thing of, you know, why honestly views and all that stuff is pretty irrelevant. And that's not to say because I'm off social media to be a fucking hater. Like, I love social media. I love like videos, you know, content creation. But I think the mindset of just like so many people are more content creators. And we're not trying to be James Charles or Jeffree Star. No offense to them, but that's like an influencer instead of a business owner. You know, we want to be able to like run our own business. Like, imagine if Jeff Bezos was doing daily vlogs. Hey, Jeff Bezos here, and today we're gonna go. That's laughable. I would actually want to see that. Like, if he did that shit, I'd probably be like, fuck this. Bezos, you're off my list now. Right? Elon's a little bit more out there with like, at least like, you know, doing interviews and stuff like that. I think he was like on a new thing called Everybody's Addicted to Clubhouse. I shouldn't really speak on that because I like downloaded it, got like my name, and then I just deleted the damn thing because I didn't even want to look at it. So I don't even know what it does. But yeah, I mean, I really don't have anything else to say on this podcast. Like I said, I'll go working on that other one. Again, too, if this is your first time listening to this podcast, look, don't expect me to be uploading daily, weekly, or anything like that. I really just want to go ahead and upload something that's actually valuable, and like, you know, stuff that's valuable isn't held or constrained to like a per week thing. I think it's actually also a lot better if I just drop something when I have a really great thing to speak on instead of trying to force something every week. That's something I learned about creating like content. It's like, you know, especially something like this, you probably shouldn't force, like if you have to stick to like a routine or you know, something of that sort, probably not going to all be good because you're going to start forcing shit. You're going to start going to like the know your worth shit or like the basic shit just to keep up with like another post, which is never good. So don't expect that, but you know, you will expect like at least something. I do want to post or create more podcasts when the time is right, when I have free time, or at least like when I have a great idea that I do want to share. I think is super valuable for anybody. Again, too, you can go ahead and subscribe to the podcast, get updated when I do drop a new one. Of course, I don't even know if I'll put these on YouTube, right? It would be kind of cool, but like at the same time, I don't want to have to edit everything. And I get very competitive, so like when I see like a number or something associated with it, I'll be like, that thing better, right? But so I just don't really want to go down that mental path either. But of course, subscribe if you found this at least episode very insightful, eye-opening. Would highly recommend. Hey, look, go ahead and share it with somebody, right? You can copy and paste this link, share it, text somebody, send it in a DM, share it to your Instagram story. I really love seeing people post to the Instagram because then I get to go ahead and look at your Instagram and kind of see like who are you as an individual. It's like, cool, this is what you're doing, this is what you're about. I always think that's pretty cool because, again, too, the only thing I don't like about this is I don't really know who listens, and like I don't really see anything unless like you post it, which is always like a happy surprise whenever I do go onto Instagram. And also too, I think it's always good to like spread new information and new awareness around. So if you did get past this to you from somebody, just know they probably care about you and care about like your growth overall. Send them a thank you and keep on this thing passing on. And then too, you know, go ahead and drop a rating. You know, let me know what you think about the podcast overall. Feel free to listen to more episodes. And you know, just let me know what you think. 5 stars, 0 stars. Let me know if it's shit. Let me know if it's great. You know, great feedback loop right there as well too for me in judging my, at least, you know, output. So with that, y'all, a little more laid back, a little bit less serious this time, but still really good content, or not content, really good overall just talking points, and I think just things to be aware of as a business owner. And I don't want to say a barber because, you are a business owner. All right. So with that, y'all, I will see you whenever I see you. And yeah, don't know your worth. Actually know your business. Talk to you guys later.